We are now going to pair a holster sensor to a user. So you're going to click on the user that you want to pair the sensor to. You're going to go to Paired Equipment. You're going to select Holster Sensor. Dock the body-worn camera assigned to the body-worn user that you want to pair the holster sensor with. So this camera is docked. And now you're going to enter the 6-digit code that can be found right on the side of the unit. Click Next. Now undock your camera and wait for it to reboot. This is when you want to connect the power supply back to the unit itself. And the camera will now reboot and will search for the holster sensor that we want to pair with. You can see the icon has shown up and we have a successful pairing. So now the holster sensor has been paired and you can disconnect it from the power, click Next and finish. And you can see that the holster sensor has been paired with this user. You can pair up to 2 holster sensors, such as a firearm, a taser, a firearm and pepper spray, and a taser, whatever you want, up to 2 sensors.
Today I'm going to show you how to pair the Yardarm Holster Sensor with an Axis W100 body-worn camera. I'm going to show you how to install the sensor and calibrate it with this holster. So first things first is to ensure that the firearm is safe. Firearm is not loaded. Remove the clip. Gun is safe. The next step, open the app and you're going to discover what serial number your Yardarm sensor is. This one is 78, so I'm going to connect to that sensor. Next step is going to the menu, go to holster placement, and then I'm going to find a flat spot on the holster. It is best to try to find a spot on the outside of the holster, because this spot will have less friction when you have an officer getting in and out of a car. But if the best reading is on the outside, it is recommended to put it on the outside. Either will work. So the first thing we do is we take the sensor. Let's place it on this spot here first. Then we're going to capture a baseline. Then we're going to take the firearm, put it into the holster, and you can see here we're getting a good reading. If we move it to the outside, you can see that the texture on this holster is slightly different in this particular area, and that is giving us an excellent reading. The difference between good and excellent is minimal. If you have an excellent reading, the sensor will not have to be recalibrated ever. You just have to charge it. But if you get a good reading, the sensor will still work very well, but it's recommended that every 6 months or so you recalibrate the sensor, which is a quick process. So we are going to stick to the outside for the time being because we have an excellent reading. And one more thing to test is you can go to calibrate sensor. And if this is a good spot, when I remove the firearm from the holster, you can see on the app, it'll show that it's been removed. And when I place it back in, it shows that the firearm has been holstered. So now we're going to take the firearm out, put it aside, and now start the process of prepping the surface. So you're going to want to ensure that the surface is clean. Follow the steps in the installation manual. You're going to want to take the primer pen here and apply that to the surface and allow it to dry for the appropriate amount of time. Once that is done, you're going to remove the sticker from the back of the sensor and you're going to place it in the spot where you got the excellent reading. And press firmly and then wait for the appropriate number of minutes that are in the installation manual. And ensure that you place the sensor with the charging port facing down. Next step is to put the firearm into the holster and ensure that the calibration is still working. So this camera has already been paired with this sensor, so I don't need to have the charging cable in anymore. It will just recognize this device. So when I remove the camera from the dock, it'll automatically be paired with this sensor. So now, if I lay the body-worn camera down, and I remove the firearm from the holster, it automatically triggers the body-worn camera to start recording. Do that again.